Hi there, it's Jonathan here. This is 3420. We're reading the Book of Deuteronomy in 20 days. Deuteronomy provides us with the second recording of the Ten Commandments given to the people of Israel. On the whole, it's the same as the version given in Exodus 20, this one possibly a little more pastoral in nature. The call for the people to hear is a standard treaty format between a vassal or lesser partner and a suzerain or superior treaty partner. This is the beginning of Moses' long second sermon to the people. Remember when we read Mount Horeb? It means the more familiar Sinai. They're one and the same mountain. Most of the people listening now were not yet born the first time the revelation was given to their parents. Moses is at pains to make sure this new generation remembers the mistakes made by their parents both at Mount Sinai when they first worshipped the golden calves and at Kadesh Barnea. Although the principles of the Decalogue or Ten Commandments apply ultimately to every member of the covenant community, strictly speaking, the commands are addressed to every man, specifically adult males who are heads of households with wives and children and who possess property. Moses gives 3 commands relating to the divine rights of Yahweh and 7 commands relating to human rights. The commands begin by telling briefly the background of the covenant relationship, verse 6. Yahweh is the God who brought Israel out of slavery. Firstly, we have the supreme command. Yahweh has the right to exclusive allegiance, verse 7 to 10. Israel are to have no other gods before Yahweh. Israel's God is not one of many in the pantheon of gods. He is one and only one, 3 in personhood. Second is Yahweh's right to proper representation. This is in 2 parts. The Creator is not to be represented by anything in creation in the form of an idol. And secondly, which is really third, the people shall not defame Yahweh by misrepresenting his name among the nations. Literally, the Hebrew translates, you shall not bear or carry the name of Yahweh your God emptily. Fourth is the right of all members of the household to humane treatment, verses 12 to 15. This is about Sabbath keeping primarily, but Moses goes further explaining that household leaders are not to be found allowing their servants or family to work for them. Slaves are to be treated humanely. Fifth, parents have the right to respect, verse 16 and following. This applies to parents who are alive and those who are already past. Sixth is the right to life. They are not to take the life of another. This is somewhat strange in light of the examples of complete and utter genocides commanded by God. Again, we can only conclude that these events occur in the context of divine justice, and God continues to be good in the midst of his judgments. The 7th principle of covenant relationship is the right to fidelity in marriage, 5:18. Adultery is properly defined as a breaking of the marriage vows through sexual infidelity. Like murder, the sin polluted the land. 8th, the right to personal ownership without fear of this being taken from you against your will. Quite possibly the primary implication of this is the stealing of property. 9th is the right to an honest and fair hearing in court. False testimony was punishable by death, bearing witness to the importance of truth-telling in the eyes of the Lord. Finally, the right to marital security. Moses changes the Exodus version by putting the command to not covet your neighbor's wife at the top of the list. This is not just referring to lust, but also to the economic advantage of taking your neighbor's wife in this cultural setting. Moses concludes by describing what it was like for their parents to hear the voice of the Lord, and in retelling the story, he's driving home the reality that God's covenant faithfulness is no less real for this generation. Verse 29 shows his pastoral heart for his people. Oh, that there were such a heart in them that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children. Enjoy God's word.